Hey.
Hey, and we are live. Welcome back to Live Reality Games podcast here on Facebook. You can find us at facebook.com/live reality games. Also on YouTube, just search for Live Reality Games LRG, and all these wonderful podcasts, such as this one, will be available there. Speaking of this Live Reality Games podcast, we are here with Liz, the host once again of Melbourne Survivor. Liz, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then we are joined here with Vince and Josh. Vince and Josh played in season 2 of Melbourne Survivor. Vince, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what do you do, that kind of thing.
I'm from Malaysia originally, but I moved to Melbourne. I moved to Australia 8 years ago and moved to Melbourne 5 years ago. And I'm currently a medical scientist in a clinical cancer cytogenetics lab.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Josh. If you remember me at all, I'm from Mildura, the little country town in Victoria, which is like 600 kilometers up from Melbourne. I don't know what that is in miles, but we'll guess 400.
I have no idea either, so
we'll guess 400. I'm a salesperson, and yeah, that's pretty much my life. It's
well, very cool. We are here to talk about your 2 experiences in Melbourne Survivor. But this, I believe, wasn't the first experience for you, Josh. You played a Survivor late game before?
I've played like ORGs, not LRGs. So
okay,
this was like completely different. And I feel like, I don't know, like online reality games, they're great, but this is on a whole new level. Like a whole new level. You don't expect it to be as full on, and yeah, it's completely different. It's great. It's great.
Now, to fill the people in at home, if you are watching, ORGs are online reality games, and they're basically kind of the same setup. Some things are done through Skype, Facebook, that kind of thing, but nothing really in person, like a live reality game.
Yeah.
Is. Yeah. Vince, was this your first experience about this?
No, this was my second. So they have another one set up in Melbourne, which is not as a big production. It's more like a day of like a few hours thing. So that was my first experience, and I was the first boot. So me and Josh has a lot in common.
Well, that's awesome that Melbourne has so many of these great events. By great events, I mean there's 2 of them, which are great and fabulous, right?
I don't think they run it anymore.
There's one more, but
there are a lot more, but I think Melbourne Survivor is the only one who's still running, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Liz. You have the longest running Melbourne Survivor.
Hey.
So I guess what brought you to apply? You, Josh, I'm assuming the online games, and Vince maybe the other live game. Why did you apply?
Josh, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So like, I made a lot of friends in the ORG community through Australia and stuff like that. And one of my friends that I made was Kyle, who hosts Backyard Survivor.
Hey.
And I'm getting a phone call. Sorry.
Yeah, so, Kyle.
Could be. Yeah. So pretty much, Kyle, I was talking to Kyle for quite a bit, and he's like, you should apply for Melbourne Survivor, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I did it. And somehow I got on, considering I made the video at like 3 a.m. and was very monotone in my video and stuff like that. So I don't know how I got on, but I got on.
Well, yeah. I don't know. We can ask how you got on right now. Liz, what do you remember about Josh's audition tape?
Nothing, but and we had to get back to you at like sort of quickly because like you had a long way to travel and stuff.
Yeah.
And then also we legitimately did not have any choice. But obviously we got back to you before we got to that point anyway. But yeah.
This makes me feel good.
People who wouldn't have been on had other people not dropped out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Vince, how about you? Like, I'm assuming from the past live game, you kind of got word of this application.
I think basically it was from the same Facebook group, and I was in Netherlands at that time. So, and then when I saw that happen, like open up, I was like, yeah, might as well just give it a try. And I mean, I couldn't get worse than first boot. I would probably end up being the first one if worst case scenario. But so I was like, I might want to try that out, and and that's how I got in. And same with Josh, I had a really terrible audition video, and I think I got it because not many.
What do you remember from it, Liz?
I just remember the vibe. I think because the ones that I had saved. I don't know because I think I
basically just say like I'm like probably the few Asians that apply, the minority quota.
Well, I hope you were wearing that banana shirt that was talked about during the episode. So that was like your pivotal moment right there. That was amazing. Great costuming.
No, I didn't wear that. I don't think so.
But you are wearing the buff, and then Josh, you have the buff as well with you. There we go.
Yes, they're great buffs, by the way.
Yes.
Head skins, right, Liz?
Yes. They're like a company in Melbourne that make buffs pretty much, and they do like custom ones as well. Pretty cool.
Well, that's funny. Talking about the episode too, Vince, the first thing you said in your first confessional on the video was you did not want to be the first person voted out. So you made it past further than that. So congratulations.
Yes. I even had the rock prepared. Like I remember telling everyone, like, please sign me up because I'll bring a rock and I'll potentially eat it in front of everyone if I get voted out first. So thank you everyone not voting out me first. Sucks for being Josh, but.
But before we get to the vote out, like Liz says, all right, survivors, welcome here. Like you're standing in front of your tribes. Like I think Josh made a comment on the first night saying that he was a little worried about the strength of his tribe.
Yeah, so
you guys,
I
tell
think
us a little bit about your impressions.
Yeah, so you look at the two tribes and you've got like Jason Bustles and you got Jake and you've got all these other stronger guys with this other team, and it's just me and Calvin and Nick and Rancy and Vince, and I'm just like, not really balanced, but we'll go with it. But yeah, like it was fun. It was fun. Like it just depends on the challenge, really. Like I swear, we were a smarter tribe. I knew that, but obviously not smart enough to do a puzzle.
Well, now speaking of puzzles, though, on the first challenge, if you recall, you had the highest person on Kickstarter raise money, and they got their picture. If you're familiar with that, we actually have Donna here.
Oh, special guest.
Donna, you're on mute if you can hear us. Hey,
hi, guys.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
How are you? Hi. Oh my gosh. You guys.
So we were just getting to the challenge, Donna. And Donna, you, I think, donated some money during Kickstarter, and you got your face on a puzzle. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. So, I'm a huge fan of, fan-made games, and I've played in online versions. I've played in, live reality games myself. And so I always try to, support people trying to, launch one of these. And so I saw Liz's campaign and thought, oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. And then reached out to Liz. I think I sent her a friend request, and then we've messaged back and forth. And so it's been a great kind of a great relationship that came out of the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Donna and I met when we helped the live stream for Survival Challenge. So Donna, it was always a pleasure to meet you and hang out with you. You're amazing. But it's so nice.
It's actually great to meet some of the contestants too. Just the banana shirt. Like. So it's been such a great season. The final 5 is incredible, and I could see it going anyway. I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I have to say though that my daughter is getting married on Thursday, and the reception's going to be Saturday. So it's like, oh gosh.
Well, no, that was Saturday for you. It might be.
It might be Friday for you,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Saturday
Okay.
for us, Friday for you. I don't know what time zone you're in, but
Right.
yeah.
So I selected interested in it, and because I was like, okay, I wonder like what is that? I actually think I have I think I might have Sydney programmed their time zone because we would watch Australian Survivor,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, okay, is it and it was always like you guys would air it Sunday night, but we would watch it Sunday morning our time. So yeah, it might work. So I'm looking forward to the finale.
Nice.
Yeah, either way, we can always watch the finale late. And I think, Donna, you're mentioning Thursday. We are doing a special broadcast with some of the contestants in the final 5 here on Live Reality Games on Facebook. So if you miss it, you can always check back and watch these podcasts either on Facebook, on YouTube, or actually we do stream on all the podcasting services too, such as Spotify and the iTunes podcast store as well. So make sure you check it out if you miss it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for sending that link, Dustin. You've done a great job. Great job.
Thanks. And then Josh, actually, we were talking just about the puzzle and that puzzle challenge. This was Donna's face. And Vince, we were like, we want to see Donna. What does she look like?
We didn't
Do you
even finish
remember this puzzle?
No. Yes, I do. No, we didn't even get like halfway through that puzzle. That's crazy. It was like a 96-piece puzzle, but they're all squares.
Right. It was a tough one.
Yeah, it was really tough. Like it looked like 2 minutes on the show, but I swear we were there for like an hour trying to get this thing done.
Liz, was it really that long?
It was definitely not an hour. We did not have that in our schedule.
It felt like an hour. It was so long.
It was one of the times, and I was like, "Can they hurry up?" Like,
I just felt my game crumbling as I grabbed pieces. I'm just like, I'm gonna be first boot as we put the pieces down. Nah, but it was really great. Thanks Donna also for supporting Melbourne Survivor from the cast. It was really great for people.
And you know what a fantastic job. And you could see that it all it takes is great players, and it really I love the the various challenges from memory games and that you really, it's the people that make the show, and you guys just added such great elements to the game.
Yeah, we're like the cast is great. Like I love all the cast.
Yeah,
everyone, we all talk now, and it's great. It's great to make a lot of friends through something like this. You wouldn't think it, but yeah, you got friends for life after this, and it's
Yep. Well, like Dustin said, from Survivor Challenge, we have a family of, our Survivor family, and I just saw Kurt Carlson, pop up, and he's somebody that I know from Survivor Challenge, and so it does definitely, the players that you meet, it's such a bond. It really is. It's a bond.
Yeah.
And for those watching at home too that want.
Oh no, you froze.
Okay, Liz. Now you got to host again.
Put on them hosting shoes again, Liz. It's been a while.
We should screenshot that Dustin's frozen face and use that as the next puzzle.
That would be amazing. I love it. I don't know what it looked like. And based on the background, it would be like Donna's too. Like it's a lot of white and stuff. Like Donna's background was a lot of green that switched up a team at first. I remember.
Actually, that picture was taken. It's from Survivor Challenge that I did in Maine, and it was with some of my teammates from. It was Ariel. I think it might have been Ryan Kaiser who won our season, and Maria Bruno. And I think it was the 4 of us. And so I just kind of cropped that picture and sent it, to Liz. So that was the one we did in Maine. And so, I had wore my Survivor dress and, was able to I think I was able to meet like Yao Man back there. You know,
wow.
he gets a lot of volunteers that come. I think Denise Martin from China. Actually, in my season back there, I played with Kyle, Jason, Sarge, Twyla, and Spencer played, and so sometimes they get actual survivors to come and play. But I've actually seen the game evolve. This last I played last season 7, and they did Survivor, and the gameplay by just regular Survivor people like us, Josh, Vince, we got it. The strategy is there, and I actually think you get a better game without having the Survivor players, because you really just want to see how you would do, and these fan-made events gives everybody a chance to just test their skills, and then if you didn't do well, you try an online game, and you could play the game 100 times and it would come out different, probably 95% of the time.
And especially with these fan-made things, we see so many different possibilities to play the game. Like, who thinks about splitting a vote half and half on the first vote besides Vince?
Thanks, Vince.
Great gameplay.
Vince, what was going through your mind? Were you that concerned that Josh had an idol?
No, but it was just it was thinking that he might have it. And I just, in the split of my mind, I was just like, you know what, if we have the numbers, why don't just, because Josh and Renzi is going to vote for each other anyway, and then we can just split it and see who has an idol, and then we flush it, and then whoever goes home. Because we, at that point, I don't think we really have like a specific person to go home that the first vote. So it's anyone but me, so we just like split the vote, and probably not a good idea, but because we kind of put Renzi at the bottom, that we know that he's going home next. So,
and did that work? No, Renzi. Well, let's see.
Well, exactly. So, Donna, before we let you go, do you want to make a prediction for the final 5? You know who's in the final 5 right now. You're a big follower of the show. Like, who is your money on?
Well, it's funny because I think Chris just said it in this last episode where he said, Ranch and I, like, we're at the bottom. And, I just love when people play, that they find a way. And luck has so much to do with this. It's really just a luck of a pick, or a luck of a tribe swap, or something. So, I mean, I like Chris, I like Rancy. I think Tara played an amazing game. I know she just got voted out, but Emily, she's lasted. But I think if I was gonna guess for a winner, I think I would pick Rancy. So
yeah, just rewatching from this too, Rancy had a lot of really strong confessionals at first, and like a lot of like deep stuff that he talked about.
Yeah.
And that was it was brought up at first, and then it was kind of put down a little bit, and now we're seeing it come back again with his like powerful confessionals and insight of the game. So
Yep. You're right. Well, you guys, it was great to see you, Liz. Congratulations on just such a well done product, and I'm more than happy to help you with the season 3. And just give me a message, okay? And you guys take care. All right.
Thanks, Donna.
Speaking of
Bye.
season 3, applications are open, and Josh and Vince are also joining production. So season 3 applications.
Oh, that's the best.
There we go.
Excuse me for a second.
That's all right.
Yeah. So, Josh, were you like when we were talking about going up for votes, you were pretty sure that it was going to be Rancy? Like, however, Tara had one quick confessional that you were a little bit worried.
Yeah. So, to be honest, I knew it was me, but the editing was so well done. It was great.
You probably even forgot. You're like, oh, do I go home here or not?
Yeah. I'm like, was that a dream? Do I win? I could win this, maybe. But no. No, the editing was done really good, because I came back from a confessional, and you don't see this, but I came back from a confessional, and then there's Calvin, We all know Calvin's got quite a loud mouth. I hear him speaking my name like to like 6 people, and I'm like, oh, it's me. But and then by that time we get asked to go back up. I'm like, okay, well, it's my time, I guess. But yeah, I didn't know why though. Like that's one thing I didn't know. I'm like, why me? I literally thought that me, Vince, Calvin, Tara, and Nick were working together. And I didn't want to do anything. This is what I regret. I regret not doing anything else. I wanted to like sort of play behind people to start off with, just so I wasn't like in the picture or anything like that. But that obviously was my downfall. I wanted other people to make moves, and I'm like, I'll just sit here, I'll just chill. You know, I thought I talked enough. I thought I made enough friends, all that type of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just how it is. There's so much compressed time as compared to like the real show. I know US Survivor goes 39 days, Australian goes for 50 or even 55 at sometimes. Like there's so much to compress, and so much conversation has to be done. Just similar to like what Donna played through for Survival Challenge. They do a bunch of days of non-eliminations basically, and then it's elimination after elimination. So it's a lot of pre-planning and a lot of conversation to do in such a short period of time.
Yeah, I feel like if this was a longer game, I guess people would have known my personality a bit more. And I feel like, but a lot of people say this. A lot of people say that I probably wouldn't have been first boot. But that obviously isn't the thing that happened. But yeah,
yeah. Well, and some of the confessionals too. I think Tara brought up that you knew Nick from the online game community.
So I knew. Yeah, he knew me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't know him. So
gotcha.
I must have had a name somewhere that he remembered. But yeah, so he knew me. So then he obviously threw me under. He's like, he could be a threat. But to be honest, I've never made a final at any game I've played. So
that could be strong words going into the next season you play, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've never made a final, so I don't see how at any point of any game I'm a threat. So,
however, I think Angela in one of her first interviews called you AK, or
no,
like
that was
Jake
Jake.
or something.
That was Jake.
That was Jake. Okay.
Yeah. Because I knew Jake going into the game. I'm like, I looked around in the first room, like in the Ponderosa room, when everybody was like put in together. I'm like, looked like 3 times at Jake. I'm like, is that Jake? And then it was. So we talked for a bit. And then after that, I didn't get paired with Jake on the tribe. I'm assuming that's because Liz knew we knew each other, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would have been better if I was on the other tribe. I don't know if I would have. Obviously, we would have won the first challenge. But but I don't know if it would have been better being in a tribe with somebody new or not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Yeah. It's hard to work out. Like if you knew somebody and you're on the same tribe with them, you maybe could like have like some type of like unplanned pre-alliance there, I guess. But
I guess we can ask production. Liz, you pre-sorted the season. It seemed like you didn't do random teams. You kind of
Honestly, I have to say, like, part of how I divide tribes is based on like whether like the vibe of the person fits like the color of the buff. That
is the newest way I've ever heard this put before, based on the color of the buff.
I never really explained it like that before, but that's kind of that's what I do. But then I also, have to like split people up based on like who knows who, and especially with this one where people didn't have to declare their relationships. Whereas in some other like trial games, we've gotten people to do that. It was, So So everything is basically based on who knew each other, and I didn't know that Nick knew Josh, but I couldn't put Nick and Jake on a tribe together anyway because they knew each other. So I can't put and I can't put Josh on a tribe with Jake because they know each other. But yeah,
Yeah, and we just had a similar conversation. Kirk sat down with a deep dive for Gyra of British Columbia and his thoughts too about the casting process. And two of the people were almost switched, which could have been a totally different, just like you were saying, Josh.
Yeah.
Had you been on the other team, it could have been totally different outcome.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And I feel like, your first tribe, like, you sort of obviously, that's the people you will play more with than the other tribe, regardless of what happens down the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I didn't make it to the future, so I don't know what would happen. But yeah.
I mean, we did kind of already discuss your thoughts about like Tara and Calvin, of course, being the louder ones of the group. What were your kind of thoughts about the other ones? I know, Vince, you said a lot of stuff that Rancy was quieter and you kind of were aiming him to get voted out. I don't know. There's always like Steph and Angela. What were your thoughts about those two?
Me and Steph were pretty tight. You can even see it in the revote where she still voted for Rancy. So I thought I had Steph pretty well, and I think I did by what you see on YouTube. Angela's cool. I like Angela. Rancy was so quiet, but then in his confessionals, he's so I was so confused. I think it was just like social interaction, like anxiety, I guess, to start off with. Nick, I didn't really speak to, but I think that's my downfall.
Yeah.
I think that's literally my downfall.
That was the downfall right there.
Yeah. Well, we didn't really speak. I just thought, I was speaking to Calvin, and Calvin's like, "Oh, we've got Nick. He's going to be with us." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "That's cool. I don't have to worry about that." And I seriously thought before coming out of my confessional, and like sort of at the challenge, I'm like, this could be me going home because I'm doing the most work on the puzzle, but yet we haven't finished it. I just felt like, safe with Calvin, and I guess that was completely wrong. I guess. And Tara was very loud, very very loud, but great. She's a great character.
Also, speaking of loudness, that first night you all slept together. Vince, you had some trouble sleeping? Somebody was snoring a little bit too much?
Yes, because I was sandwiched between Tara, me, Calvin, and Josh. And then Calvin was a louder snorer of the group. And because he was next to me and I couldn't sleep. And Josh kind of snore a little bit as well. I think everyone pretty much snore a little bit. And so just me and Tara just hang out and feel like, can we just vote those people off straight away? Because we don't want to spend another night with them. And it's part of our strategy, me and Josh, to sandwich between Tara and Cal because they were planning to sleep next to each other. And my plan was, because me and Josh and everyone else basically saw them, they sort of gravitate to each other because they have pretty much similar personality anyway. So they just click off like that. And then we're like, okay, we've been spreading rumors, be like, okay, we know those two are big targets. We just lay low and let them self-explode eventually. So we're just spreading like, okay, keep an eye. And then when they come to sleeping arrangement, we're like, I was standing between them. I was like, yeah, I'm going to park myself in between you guys. And they're like, okay. And then Josh take Calvin, take Tara. So like separate them from talking strategy during the night, which doesn't really affect that much. But because but in that sense, I sort of stopped them communicating from trying to vote up people that we don't know.
Yeah, like me and Vince were actually, like you see one of my confessionals, you see that I speak about Vince and me and Vince being like sort of in the middle of the tribe. I believe at nighttime we were, and then it changed. Yeah. And I think
before the trial break, because by then Nick sort of spoke to them, because by then Nick doesn't speak to anyone besides Rancy at that point. I haven't spoken to Nick or Rancy during that period. I spoke to pretty much everyone besides Rancy and Nick, and it's just that when the toilet break, it's me, Josh, and Steph left behind, and the rest of the people went to the toilet together. So that's the conversation happened during that point, which we were excluded. So if one of us went, and we could have figured out something out to counteract the Nick's argument.
Yeah, honestly, that happens a ton too in these games. It's always the way to the bathroom and the way back to the bathroom. That's where all the conversation happens.
Yeah.
So often.
That's something I've learned from this season, I guess.
But in general, Tara referred to you all as the Hot Mess Tribe. Do you feel like that's an accurate description of your tribe?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I love being on my tribe though. Like our tribe was so great.
I feel like I get more out of the Survivor experience out of the Galata tribe compared to when I swap over to the Rang tribe, because the Rang's more just sit down and talk and just do sort of, I don't know, socializing, I guess.
Yeah,
and
just art stuff, and it's just like.
And the Galata is basically we go find idols. We're like talking strategy all the time, and yeah, I actually pretty much love my experience, because I feel like even during my short term of Survivor experience, that I get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I think that's what Liz kind of was saying. Like this color for this hot mess team, and this one's maybe the more subdued color. So you go over there. That's exactly what she was thinking.
It made great video.
Yeah.
So speaking of the video, we leave with Josh going home first, and but like you said, a lot of times on these smaller production teams, like Josh, you stuck around, you assisted with what you could, so which is always a huge help for any production crew during that. So
I became cameraman pretty much.
Yeah.
That's why I came down to play. I came just for cameraman duties.
I just want to interject a little bit for the Josh vote. It's basically I didn't want Josh to go because he wasn't my number one, basically. But then after the challenge, Tara came to me. Well, basically I wanted Renzi gone because the challenge, basically, I was like, Renzi doesn't do anything, so he should go. And I haven't talked to him, so like doesn't win. So he's like my number one target. And then Tara came to me. He's like, Josh, you can tell he's a bit seedy. So like we should get him out. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So that's why but then I don't have any votes to say Josh anyway. And because it's during this short time, although I clicked with Josh, it's not like we have a really, really deep bond that I really want to save him. It's just like I only spoke to him for a night. So there's no reason for me to like look up and be like, no, I'm not Josh. I want Renzi gone.
And especially with you playing the other game and coming first boot, you sort of didn't want to like.
Yeah, my philosophy is like anyone but me. So,
but still, you were able to get another 5 votes on another person. So you saying you didn't have the votes, you had to convince 5 other people or whatnot to vote another person.
I feel like this is. I have no idea.
If I switched just one more towards Rancy.
Well, to be fair, Vince voted me, so
yeah. I thought
you voted me.
I voted for Rancy during before the revote.
Yeah,
but yeah, if I knew I have that power, I could have, because this game is so short. You don't have the time to sort of go through every scenario. So it's just like split second. You're like, okay, what am I doing? Oh, okay, let's just do this now. But also don't want to perk up too soon because that's gonna make me a target. So I just want to remain I want to be like hidden behind the scenes, just like what Josh did, until it's time for me to perk up.
Mm-hmm. Which you did in the next episode. You perked up a little bit after Josh went home, so you were kind of a little worried. I guess you were more worried about Rancy and how he snuck through this vote and how safe he was. So, and then you were worried that Steph was going to be too much of a liability going forward, right?
Yes, at that point, because I wanted Rancy go, but then I have this Tara starts saying that she wanted Steph to become a goat. That means in any scenario, if I swap with Tara and Steph, I'm going next. She's going to throw me on the bus. So I was like, let's just cut the goat. And then I also thinking in terms of swap, like who's going to be more threatening, Steph or me? So people were likely to choose Steph to stay in case of swap and we're down in numbers instead of me. So if we just get rid of Steph and everyone's on equal level, so we have all equal threats going in, well, assume, so that will make my chance to survive higher. So that's my logic thinking. And it's just because Tara was pushing really, really hard to for Steph to save it, and a lot of us were not comfortable for giving Tara, Carl, that much power going to further into the game. That's probably why we did what we did. And on hindsight, it's also not a very good move, but I guess we never know. We never know.
Well, I guess you talked about Tara pushing some moves, but Vince, you did a little bit of pushing in that episode too with Emily. Do you remember?
No, no, it's not me.
Get out of the way.
Oh, that pushing, yes. Okay, so was Nick was done that before, and with I don't know who that is, and then I was like, oh yeah, I can do that too. So when we started running, I was like, I'm gonna do it way like more aggressive than Nick. So I was like just pushing it out of the way, and we're losing it. I'm trying to win the point anyway. So I was like, if I just
I think she almost like toppled over the box too at one point. I got a little nervous.
I was like, get away, and she stopped pushing me back. I was like, oh, we're gonna play this, and I was.
And then even in the background, Liz is she says dirty tactics from Vince. So
it's not dirty; it's working.
Yeah.
Do you think they were going to get into a SmackDown or anything, Liz? Were you concerned at that point that Emily was going to punch Vince?
I was hoping to. I was like, I'm gonna fight someone.
I don't think I was at all concerned. I think watching the footage though, I was like, whoa, what is happening here? Because I think I was seeing it like from a distance and from behind, so it wasn't like. Whereas like one of the cameras was like right behind like the bench, and so you see like I don't know, whoever it was like pushing Chris or Chris pushing Nick over the thing.
Nick, I think it was.
Stumbles over, and you're like, oh wow.
I was
And
ready
Vince
to
is like, I
tackle
can do
someone.
this too.
I was ready to tackle someone if they're running back, and then if I catch them, I'm just gonna push them all the way out. If it wasn't Emily, if it was someone like Jake or someone, I might do that.
So we have to watch out for Vince in physical competition coming up.
Yeah.
If you ever play again. So then, of course, you guys were losing. You do end up losing the challenge. You're back at Tribal. Kind of what Josh had mentioned. Josh made a comment in the first episode saying that this tribe is going to lose a few in a row. And Josh, your prediction came right.
Yeah, it was pretty telling. Like, to be honest.
To be honest, we were actually winning it though. Like we were.
You were.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
Almost tasting it. So yeah.
But I was on the side. I was going for Durang. Like I'm like, Durang can win this. I don't care. Hi, Josh. Yeah.
We got a fan in the audience. So then, what's your thoughts, Vince, going into the next Tribal? You're back on Rancy.
Yeah,
And there's also Steph.
And then we managed to, because what Tara did, we sort of felt uncomfortable letting Steph going that far in, so that's why we voted for Steph. And I think it doesn't show on the episodes. We actually have a long we even stopped before the Tribal. Like we have to stop at one point before going into Tribal. We're still debating who to vote. That's why most of the voting confessional at that point was like, I don't know what's going on, because I literally don't know what's going on. And I think Nick, Carl, and Renzi was talking in one group. So me, Tara, and Steph was sitting like outside the group, because I just try to like calm Steph down and to not let her suss out what happened. And I was like literally standing there like, just tell me who to vote. And the majority consensus was Steph. So I was like, okay. But at that point, I wasn't too sure. I feel like someone might flip to do something else. So yeah, and to be honest, at that point, I didn't really care, because I know I was thinking like we're gonna lose in the challenge anyway. So I was like, Steph go now, and Renzi can go next, and we're happy days.
And you almost had it, right?
Almost lose the other challenge.
Until production gives you a little bit twisted down the line. So, but you came back and you won the next challenge. But before you got to the challenge, there was a little twist that happened.
Yeah.
Kelvin had to volunteer to go to this mysterious outpost that you were not so sure what happened. You had some doubts.
Yeah. I think it's shown an episode that Carl actually volunteered to go. So we were like, yeah, well, we know what's going on, so you go. And he came back and just giving all this lie. And then at first I was like, yeah, okay. I wasn't thinking that because I was starving, so I wasn't thinking that through. And then until like Carl's starting to grab Tara and went for a talk, and then after that he came back and he's grabbing Nick, and I was like, hang on a second, like why is he not talking to me? So I thought we were like in a working alliance. So and then he stopped talking to like anyone else. So I was like, So and then I went to talk to Tara, and Tara just like, oh no, Carl just wanted to blow out Renzi next. And I was like, that's common knowledge. Like why he needs to whisper to you about that. And then I went to talk to Nick, and then Nick was basically saying, Carl has special something. And I was like, that's what happened. And that's why I know he was lying. And then I went to talk to Ange, and then we sort of figure out he has an idol. And then Ange didn't tell me he saw Carl find an idol because that was he saw that I think before the swap, so he didn't manage to communicate with me. But me and Ange was basically working sort of undercover. So we sort of speak for like 1 minute and we split. So she would come back and tell me information what she heard, and I would tell her what I heard. And yeah.
Well, very cool. And that does pay off too, because I know Ange on that next episode really wants to go after Tara and Calvin. Doesn't quite work out. Of course, there's always a twist in Survivor. I
was pissed off because at that point we were trying to get Tara. So I didn't show I think it showed briefly. So me and Nick actually have a working relationship as well after the first vote, when we came back from the first tribal, and Tara basically said, oh, we got Nick. And then I was like, okay, you guys got Nick, so I might have to talk to Nick now. So I went to talk to Nick. I was like, okay, let's just have a secret alliance between the big alliance that you and me are working together, because no one's gonna know like we're working to each other because we barely speak. So we're like, okay. And then so we started getting trust with Nick, and at that point Nick also feel I assume Nick also feel uncomfortable that Tara and Carl got really close to each other, and he wasn't really comfortable being the third in the relationship. So after the set vote, we're actually planning to vote out Carl or Tara. We're working towards it, and we actually got Renzi on board as well. So 4 of us would basically want to blindside either Tara or Carl. So if the swap didn't happen, and we're probably gonna throw it and probably gonna blindside I think Tara, because I don't think Nick had a really good relationship with Tara. He had a better relationship with Carl, so we might keep Carl and blindside Tara, which I don't want that to happen, but I mean it's up to Nick to do that blindside. So.
And we'll see what his thoughts are, because I think he's scheduled for Thursday, I believe. So
yeah,
or Friday for your time. I always get that confused. I'm sorry, but sometime in the near future. It's a mystery right here.
Yeah.
Oh, then speaking of the future, the other team does go to tribal. You're not over there, so we don't really know what happens. What was your thoughts about the first vote when you saw them? Did you expect that?
Yes. Yeah, I think on the first night, we actually talk about who's going to go first. We predict Emily and Jason Hatt.
Oh, Emily was up there.
Yeah. Because
I have footage of this. I think, there were a few other predictions, but that one was there.
Yeah.
I think it's because Emily was really quiet in the Ponderosa before we go out to actually play games. So we sort of like looking at each other and suss out everyone, and she was pretty quiet in that whole group scenario. So I was assuming that she's probably going to be quite uncomfortable in a group scenario, so she wouldn't do that well. But she's doing pretty well. So kudos to her.
Yeah, the 2 quietest people that you said so far, Rancy and Emily, are in the final 5. So
so be quiet.
That might be a thing.
That's what I'll try to do.
You were just a little bit too loud, though. You have to go back a little further, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Not talking.
No, I have a really like quiet personality as well, but like in that game, you have to sort of like speak up. That's why I did what I did. Like I sort of jumped in the conversation in the Ponderosa when Carl jumped in, because Carl was so like bubbly, and he's extrovert, so he bring up this conversation. So I think a few of us jump in the conversation, trying to like build somewhat the first good impression. If it's a normal me, I wouldn't do it, but because it's the game scenario, I feel like I have to do it, and it sort of worked in a way. Like I actually gain alliance member of that.
I think I talked a bit, but I just don't think you've seen it. To be honest, like actually, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. If I had a wine, then that would have been great.
I think we should all start drinking some wine first, and then before going to the game.
It would have been a lot more different.
Yeah, it's not like Calvin and Jason. They showed up a little bit tipsy.
Oh, this is an extra little Easter egg we're just finding out about right now.
I should have done that too. It does suck though. Like I did travel 9 hours to get there, and then be first boot. But it is what. Yeah, I'm still salty slightly.
Now, Vince, do you think you spoke up a little bit more based on your past experience? I know when Cal was just interviewed by Liz and I the other day, he said it was his past experience that really made him try to push himself out of his comfort zone. Do you think that's what you picked up as well?
Well, not really, because I think my first game was basically, it's more like friends playing, and then I was an outsider because they have a core group that basically play every time they play, like they organize it. So when I go in, it's sort of having friends, and then you're an outsider. Obviously, I'm the good target. So I didn't have that many chance to sort of find out what my flaws are. But in this game, I actually found out that I actually need to be more aggressive or a little bit more assertive when it comes to things.
Very cool.
Yeah,
we had a trial game afterwards, and I think I got my redemption in that game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't filmed, unfortunately, but
yeah. So we run like trial games that are just like they're just like over a day and not filmed, and we call them trials. I don't know why, but that's what we call them.
Do you like test out like challenges during that time, or like test out different twists, or just kind of?
Yeah.
Cool.
Good old twists.
And we get like, yeah.
Personally, I'm not a fan of twists. I've been messed up by all the twists that have happened so far.
That's literally me too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same actually. But in trial games, you need a twist to get rid of people because it's
run out of time.
What a time frame.
There's a time frame that we have to.
Yeah.
They're fun though. Like, if you're watching this and haven't applied for Melbourne Survivor or anything like that, give one of them a try. So you understand. Yeah. If somebody's not comfortable with the camera or anything like that, give one of them a try because you'll enjoy it.
Actually, you know what? Ange and Emily, they talked about like how they did a trial game, and that's the game that they were talking about where Emily voted out Ange really early. I was actually in that as well. But the like it was after that Ange like was keen to do a filmed one. Like before that, she wasn't really like cool with like being filmed and stuff. So yeah, it's helpful to sort of build up your confidence, even though you don't really practice like talking to a camera or whatever. Like just having just the game first and then adding the camera later, like yeah,
it's definitely I enjoy it because we've tried out some challenges as well. We've tried out a lot of twists and stuff like that that we don't know if we'll use on season 3, but we'll find out.
I can't wait to hear about season 3, but we're not quite done with season 2 yet. Our next episode, Angela wants to go against Tara and Calvin. Unfortunately, you all drew sticks to decide where you're going.
That was stupid, but I literally because it was the production was actually rushing us to do it. You're like, okay, decide now, and then Tara was like, okay, let's draw a stick, and I'm like, okay, yeah, and we should have thought like, okay, like Tara and Carl, you guys go on one side, and me and Ange go on one side, and then we'll pick whether we want Nick or Renzi. That's probably a better idea, but probably not stick. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was wondering whose move that was and why you did sticks. Like that doesn't seem any like strategic. It's all like luck. So
I guess it's fair as well. I think it's most fair out of it, but it wasn't fair. I mean, yeah.
That's how we did the first challenge. Like,
yeah,
not the puzzle, the running part. That's why I run. Like, if you look at my group, you shouldn't see me running. Like, there's other people in my group that probably should have run than me.
Is that how that worked? I don't think I remember that on film.
It wasn't shown. Was it?
It was shown.
The stuff.
Okay.
Right?
It was getting the tops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You were elected the captain. Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled Jake on the ground and stuff. Yeah, that was a great feeling. But yeah, that's how we did it. We just played rock, paper, scissors. And of course I won that. I'm like, of course I've got to run in front of the cameras. It's something I didn't want to do.
And we shouldn't send Ange out because she was so nice. And she was
I don't
one of the
hurt
vicious
anyone.
people.
Man, it should have been Vince. He'll tackle anybody after that, right?
I would tackle anyone. And it was so funny because when Tara do the stick thing for the swap, and I actually thought she rigged it. And I was like, that's why I was checking I was like asking her to show it after we all draw it, would like just compare to make sure she didn't rig.
Yeah, I remember this too. It was in the camera. They're like a close up. They're like, wait, I gotta check this stick. Wait, no, wait. Oh, okay. But then
she picked us. Yeah.
You do end up with Ingrid, Jason, Natalie, and Liam. So, thoughts about your new team, your new tribe mates?
Sucks.
Yeah.
Mainly because we don't have any numbers. So like all three of us like going in, we're like, okay, we're basically screwed. And it wasn't a nice feeling. So, but we're just like, okay, we probably can win all the challenges because we have pretty much all the strength out there. So when I got in, and my first thought was like trying to be a social connection with everyone, but in reality, it's hard to do because they are they're more like casual fans, so they don't like in Galata we all love talk strategy and like just throwing ideas out, but they're more like just sit down and have like talk about personal things and like play like the ninja
a lot too, right?
Yeah, we play ninja. Yeah. We play ninja all the time over there. So didn't have that, and everyone just stayed in the camp. Like no one actually went out and do talks like what we did in Galata. So I don't want to like do that, starting that train now because that will put me a target. So it's kind of the double-edged sword. You like, I want to do it to build connection, but then if I do it, it will put the target on me. So, and my strategy was basically hiding behind the scenes anyway. So for me, I was just waiting for people to start doing it, but no one actually did anything. But everyone just saying they whole camp. I even at one point refused to go to the toilet because I felt like if I go, then people start whispering my name out. So I'll just keep saying and I'll keep holding and then just trying to assess the situation. But it didn't. That moment didn't come. So, and yeah.
Is that something you kind of look back at and you were like, oh, well, maybe that was the part I should have talked up more on?
I think Ingrid sort of spoken to me, be like, if you actually spoken to me more, and I'm probably not going to throw your name out. But at that point, I don't think it would change anything because it wasn't, I don't think it was a smart move to perk up, especially when you're in the minority anyway. I think the better way would be trying to be more more outspoken in like the whole group situation, so people were noticing you more and sort of getting good vibes from you. But I thought I got good vibes from Ingrid anyway, so I'm just bummed that she didn't like see it.
And I really like the choice of challenge too, because you do a tribe swap and then you go into a communication based challenge, the blindfold one, right?
Yeah.
Like I thought that was brilliant, like because they haven't been accustomed to working with each other, so this is really going to test how they can communicate on the fly. So
yeah,
and your strategy on the team was really good too. I just like you have all your blocks and you're flipping them
around. I was
and
thinking that. I was like, guys, just do this, just switch around so they can see the alphabet. And I'll keep reaching out on the table like, okay, is there any like cues that left out?
So you guys won that one. So you pulled that off. You had some communication success. Yep. And then we get to the next episode and you, you're bonding more with Nick, I want to say.
Yeah, I was, before going in, because we bonded in Galata already, so we're bonding with. So me and Nick got really close together in the swap tribe.
But not Calvin.
Not so much because he was lying about his idol and yeah.
But he told
And
you
I knew
he
he
had
would
an
be safe.
idol.
No, he didn't. He told me before we go to tribal, but I already know that he had an idol. And
Wait,
it was
how did
common
you
a
find
lot.
out that he had an idol then?
Because Nick told me he has a special something.
Oh, he has a
So
special
I was
something.
just assuming he has an idol. I was assuming he had the clue, and he probably got an idol. So, but I didn't say it on confession because I wasn't sure. Like I don't want to be like a fool that he actually didn't have it, but I was like certainly he has it. And then he has Jason Muscle on the same tribe, so I was thinking like he's not going to be in trouble. So just me and Nick, basically down to me and Nick. And skip a little bit forward ahead. I actually want to throw Nick's name out to Ingrid, but Nick just walked into the conversation. And I was like, oh shit, I need to stop. I changed name. So I changed to Calvin. And I didn't have any. Yeah, and I didn't have
You should have
opportunity.
just kept it.
I should have kept it, but Nick was walking out. I feel bad. I was like, oh, no, I can't. Like, good. Then when Nick will throw my name out, so I was like, no, I have to keep it to Calvin because Calvin was talking to Jason Muscle at that time. So I was like, yeah, let's do Calvin. And then they're like, yeah. And then they left and went to talk, and then they come back. The four of them. The original Galata, Durang, so they came back. They're like, okay, we're gonna vote out Liam, and I was like, no, you just have a talk together. Like, why would you tell me Liam now? Because we just went and talked together as a group. Yeah. So and then we know like it's one of us, and yeah, and then basically it just went downhill from there. I guess. I want to talk about the challenge. Sorry.
Yeah, the challenge.
So-
it's the lava challenge. It's the one that Jake is notorious for doing the splits.
Yeah.
You guys had, because that was So what do you think happened at the puzzle?
So before the challenge, I think everyone wants to jump in, and I have a feeling that they want to throw it. So that's why I pushed really hard to get. I was telling like, guys, bigger people should actually set up because you guys are not helping because you need more tiny people go on to more stabilize and stuff. So that's why Ingrid and Jason Muscle set out, and all three of the original Galata was in it, so we can try to salvage if someone want to throw it. And I actually practiced like puzzles beforehand. Like I'm not really good at it, but I think I'll do better than Liam because Liam had spoken out that he only did like puzzle in his primary school. So, but then I was like, okay, I don't want to put myself in the puzzle because I feel that there's a lot of pressure coming in, and I might lose a challenge. I'll be the easy target. I mean, in hindsight, I should have volunteered because I actually practiced it.
So his experience was, oh, I did this in grade school.
Yeah, he basically said that. We were like, okay, yeah, you go, and all four of us just will be doing the ground is lava. And in hindsight, I was hesitating. I was like, should I volunteer? And then once Liam said that, and I was like, okay, well, maybe just let him do it. So and then we did that, and once we finish it, I was like, okay, yeah, we might have a chance to win this because we're like way far ahead.
Like from the editing, you had quite a bit of chance.
Well, yeah, we were like, oh, they're like struggling so much, and then we're like, okay, let's do it. And then I was asking Liz, can we swap? Because once I saw Liam was struggling, I was like, okay, I need to jump in, and then they said no, and then I was trying to give him tips, and then I was like, just do the top bit first and blah blah blah, and then they're like, no speaking. I was like, oh no. You can't tell him tips. And I was like, oh no. And then yeah, I just saw him crumbling. Like I saw my chances going on.
That challenge when Tara came in and did the puzzle in like 1 second was amazing. I just want to put that out there. That was like really. We're on the side, and I wasn't going for Tara because what she did to me. And I wasn't going for Durang either because what they did to me with like stuff. So I didn't really care who won, but I was sort of excited when Tara did in like a second. It was pretty good.
I just liked her screaming at the other side. She's like, we have plenty of time. This guy has no idea what he's doing. He would have solved it by now.
She's such a great cast choice. I love it.
So, you guys, after that big lead and the puzzle, failure, I guess, the complete failure, who was just, I don't know
Yeah.
a better term for it at this point. So, yep, you guys lost. So,
Yeah.
So you're pretty sure you're going home.
Yeah.
You said,
yeah, me or Nick. Yeah.
yeah.
And
What was
so
your pitch
that
to save you or get rid of Nick?
I didn't have a chance to throw Nick under the bus, and then so I was basically trying to spread like anyone but me. Like I've been telling what they're doing, like I can vote anyone, I don't care, like as long as it's not me. And then so we have a one-on-one talk with Ingrid, and then that's when I dropped the Carl name because Nick walked into the conversation, and then they went away and then have a group talk and come back to us. They said they want to vote Liam. So basically all three of us know that that's not going to happen. They're not going to flip. So that's when Carl told me he has an idol, and then he has two idols. So I was like, okay, cool. And then basically Carl had come up with this brilliant idea to vocally say like voting for Nat on Tribal. And it was like minutes before the Tribal anyway. That's why we don't have the thought process to maybe just asking whether that is the correct move or not. And I also spoken to Jason Muscle, like having a secret alliance, which I think was shown on the confessional, but you just
I do want to clarify: is this Jason's real last name, or is this his name?
No. It's just a nickname, yeah, because he's muscly.
I didn't think so. Like I was thinking back, I was like, I don't remember if it starts with an M or not, but okay, I know exactly what Jason you're talking about. Jason Muscle.
Yeah, Jason Muscle.
Jason M and Jason H, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jason M. People decided to call Jason Hat, which is confusing. Jason Muscles is Jason H. So they're literally just switch initials. And
okay. I just wanted to clarify, but I'm pretty sure I knew who you're talking about. So
yeah, that conversation didn't happen. I know he's not going to work with me, so my only chance is to vote strong with the Galata team. So we went in knowing I'm not too sure whether Carl's going to play his idol on me or Nick or himself. So we have that Tribal. That's why I know I'm going home. That's why I perked up to trying to support Carl to asking people to vote on that, which is, I don't think any people who were like in the strong call for would be like, no, that's not happening, because they want to get rid of Nat anyway. Yeah. So if Carl play an idol, doesn't like, they can just vote for strong, and then if an idol play, Nat's going home, so no blood lost, Mm-hmm. So in hindsight, we didn't know. We didn't know that they're gonna vote Nat next round. We didn't know Nat was in the bottom of that 4. We thought was Liam.
That vote shocked me too, and I was filming.
Yeah. And that's why that's why we push Liam. We were like, at one point I was asking Liam, like, Liam, why do you want to stick with them? Because they said like they throw your name out so easily. Like they told us your name, so like you're on the bottom. Like jump with us. We got to merge together. We didn't realize Liam wasn't in the bottom. It's actually Nat. So and then at one point it was during the voting. Everyone go for voting, and then Carl just turned to me. He's like, "Do you want me to play the idol for you?"
Oh.
And I was like sitting there. I was like, "Talk later," because we're voting. So if you do that, people would know that you're hesitating. So there's no reason for them to flip if they want to flip.
While people were voting.
Yeah. He was telling me what. That's why I was like, "No, we talk later, because it's people are voting, so you don't want to like show them that you're like not sure what you want to do." And then he's like, "Okay." And then when the time comes to play an idol, he just sat down, and I was like, "Okay, I guess one of us is going home." And then when Liz read the first Nick vote, I was like, "Oh yes, not me, yes." And then next vote, Vince. I was like, "Oh no, me." And because we didn't expect Nat got spooked, and that's why she voted for Nick, because she didn't know what to do, because she knows 3 votes coming for her. So I don't. She sort of like froze and just voted the different way. So that's why we did a revote. But then I was like, oh, I knew I'm going home. So yeah, I had a great fun. And I was like, oh well, nothing I can change or do anything.
No, I guess real quick, just to clarify, Liz, I've seen it both ways for live reality games, and just in shows in general. While they're voting, do you typically allow people still to talk, or is it total silence?
Silence. Oh no, we allow people to talk, but not strategy talk.
Okay, yep, similar.
Or something, we're like, you need to stop.
It has
that.
to be, yeah, it has to be loud, or like it's just like non-strategy. Like it has to be loud. Like we know what. But yeah, at that point, I think he was like whispering to me, and I was like, no, don't do it. Talk later. But we never had it. And I don't think Carl's gonna play his idol for me. I think he's spoken in that in the interview with you that he didn't trust me anyway. So there's no reason for him to play an idol for me. And actually, he told me that they are targeting me, but I didn't register that. Only when I'm watching it, I was like, oh no, he told me that I was a target, and I just didn't register it. So I would be like, yes, play idol. But yeah, just a blur to me at that point. I was like, I'm going home.
And sometimes there's just way too much to process, like you said.
The thing is, unlike everyone else, I had an interview on that day when I come into the game. So I didn't eat the whole day, and then I went to the game. So I was like, might as well not starting now. And I didn't bring anything with me to eat anyway. So that's why I was the most starved people out of the group, because people had like a little bit munch a little things before they come into the game. And then I went through like a really stressful interview and jumped straight into the game. And that's why I was like so tired and I was starved. And then I didn't sleep. So like, I was the most like zone out person out of the whole game.
Yeah, and
you probably had like the most authentic Survivor experience.
Yeah. I was like literally starving. I was like, after we were winning the challenge, I was like laying down. I was like, I just don't want to sleep. Just let me sleep. I don't want to talk strategy.
Well, even just watching it back, I forgot that Nick like took a bus ride 13 hours. He slept overnight in the park by himself.
Drove,
like,
but yeah.
No, drove. He
drove.
Jake. He drove. Yeah.
Okay.
He and Jake. Yeah.
But still, I was like, oh, I forgot about that part. Just because rewatching this again for these interviews, it's the earlier episodes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of interstate people.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people actually not from Melbourne. I mean, that was one of the interesting parts that we brought up last time with Cal and Tara.
Yeah.
That
the entire Final Five is not from Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Emily, what? Emily is.
She's an hour and a half out.
Still counts, I guess, compared to like Mildura, Brisbane, Sydney, Perth.
Now, who came the furthest? I want to ask, just out of curiosity. Cal?
It'd be Calvin. Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as travel time,
yeah.
It'd be Nick and Jake than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, didn't you work out that you traveled more than them?
No, I traveled 9 hours.
Sydney is about 10 to 12 hours drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
guess
guess
they traveled just a bit longer than me, but yeah, they made it a lot further than me.
Yeah, my Australian geography is very slim, so just hearing this, it just is eye-opening how far you all traveled, and
just
especially
think about it like Brisbane is like New York, and then Melbourne's like Miami.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And then Perth is LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
That's sort of how I sort of go. And then like Sydney's like between
longer distances, right? No,
we're the same size, I think.
Are we?
Yeah, we're very similar.
I don't know. Comparison, yeah.
US is slightly bigger. US is like slightly bigger.
Really?
Yeah. I learned that in geography.
This, Liz? I had no idea.
I have no idea too, but yeah.
Okay.
So, people think Australia's small because we've only got like 20-something million people, but like we're massive.
Okay.
Yeah. There's so much just red dirt everywhere.
Yeah, I
Especially
thought we were way bigger than you.
Yeah, like across the road from me, there's like a block just empty, and then like 500 meters down the road, the river's there.
Yeah, and I guess in general, it's just so surprising to hear that too. But from the States, it's the same thing too. Like even playing our game in Michigan, we had people from all over the country here, and some from Canada too, just to fly in. So it's just amazing what these games can do for the community. And speaking of these games for the community, you guys are the production team, some of them, for season 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Anything you want to share? I mean, the title is Playing with Fire.
So we have lots of new challenges coming in. So me and Josh and a lot of other people, Liz included, to make new puzzles for the new season. We're also trying to have a sort of a brand new, all new Survivor challenges.
Yeah.
And I think that's what at this stage we're planning. That's what the planning going on.
And we've got lots of colors too. I love color, so like
great. So Liz is going to pair everybody up by a color, be like, you are pink, you are light pink.
Yes.
Just based on personality, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And our new buff is really, really nice. Like Josh designed that, so kudos to Josh. And it was like, I think the color is yellow, red. Is it?
Yeah, it's yellow, red,
blue.
Yellow, red, like teal.
Yeah.
Like teal. Yeah.
You've named like all the colors. It's like a rainbow.
Yes.
You're gonna have 10 tribes.
10 tribes of 2 people.
Oh, it's like the Hunger Games.
Challenger out, that type of thing.
So I guess it's been a great experience. Any last thoughts, Josh, Vince? Like, what you got?
Pretty much just apply for season 3. Even if you don't get on, don't be disheartened. There'll be trial games that will contact you for if you don't get on for the actual game itself. We'll contact you about trial games that we were interested in having you play. I don't know how many Australians watch this, because I don't think anybody from the US can come over at the moment.
Not at the moment, I don't think.
Probably not for a while. But yeah, just watch it, I guess. Like, watch a finale on Saturday night, which is your Saturday morning, I assume.
Yeah.
Or like late Friday night for you.
Yeah. And also, like, I think season 3 will be better because we have these past contestants coming back to help. So we know like what sort of the stuff need to be tweaked and need to be improved. And yeah, so it will be a way better experience, hopefully better experience for everyone that's in playing the game.
More cameras, more editors,
less food, no more food rewards. You're gonna starve.
Everything else, less food.
Yeah.
More food for the crew. Less food.
More food for the crew, yes, please.
They just didn't get back yet.
Well, very cool. Your Facebook page has the casting link, correct? Just search Melbourne Survivor.
Yeah. We also have a bit of a crowdfund. If you want to get any of our new buffs or old buffs, yeah, that's also on the Facebook page.
Huge thanks to Donna for stopping out. Are you going to offer the same promotion?
We're not, but maybe we should. We've got more time to plan things now, so maybe we should do something out.
Maybe you can see my face on it.
All right. Thank you for watching us, everyone watching at home. Thanks for all the comments. Liz, you have a big fan in Aiden. We'll just go through the comments right here.
Podcast.
Aiden, big fan of yours, Liz. So if you're interested in that, let's see here. There's Josh as well. Marco says, Liz, you're better than Jeff. So Jeff Probst, you better watch out for your job, I guess. So. All right. Thanks, everyone. And thanks again for Liz dropping by. Vince, thanks for stopping by. Josh and Donna as well for hanging out with us for a little bit to talk about that first challenge. So it's been a pleasure. Everyone have a great night. And season 3, Melbourne.
Yeah, thanks, Austin.
Thanks for doing this, Austin.
All right. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.